I'm Stephen Gall and I'm a brand ambassador for Yamaha. Well, my first love of motorcycling and moving with speed, of course, started a long time ago. Mum and Dad had property 11 acres southwest of Sydney in Menai. Dad bought me a JT1 Yamaha 60cc bike. It really gave me the thrill for speed and that's where it all started, I reckon. Well, the first impact that I made really on the motorcycle fraternity in Australia was when I was invited by Jeff Eldridge to be on the cover of the first Australian dirt bike magazine. And Vince Tesseriro, the promoter of Mr Motocross at that time, he was there at that first shoot and he saw the ability and invited me to ride in the last round of the Mr Motocross series. Crowds were there, hanging over the fence on the rock walls. It really was quite exciting. And in '78, I managed to win the contest. And motocross was huge at that stage. It was really big. We did radio, TV, all around the country. And I think I really started a different professional level within the sport in talking and promoting the sport and promoting the sponsors like Yamaha, but also in getting involved in fitness and the training and the professionalism there, because many riders didn't even train in the early days, they just rode their bike. But I did a lot of off-bike training. I went to America and learned about stretching, cardiovascular training, weight training, and I brought that back to Australia, and that really set the standard during those early time when I dominated the sport. Because I dominated with professionalism in a variety of ways, it really set the standard and lifted the whole level of the sport.
So I'm Stephen's wife for 37 years this year. My brother-in-law raced and we used to go out and watch, and knew of Stephen Gall, but never thought I'd end up being married to him. Yeah, he's been with Yamaha for such a long time. You know, they do feel like family. We've gone through all sorts of racing, promotions in all those years. Busy man. Yeah, can't sit still for 5.
Mr Motocross was booming. I'd already been to America a number of times, but there was many other things around, like the Finke Desert Race, like Australian Motocross Championships, like Dirt Track Championships. And I managed to do really well in a lot of cross-section of events, winning the Finke a couple of times, also winning a number of Australian Dirt Track Championships, always on Yamaha machine. In '78, I did the Castrol 6-hour race at Emerald Park, which at the time was one of the most iconic races in Australia. Then Yamaha supported me in '79. There was a Yamaha team that was supporting the race, and I managed to finish up in the factory team for a few years. But then the opportunity came up to develop an Australian motocross team to go to the World Teams Championships. We represented Australia that year for the first time. We've been back every year since. I've been team manager, I've been helper of the team along the way, and it really is great to think that I helped start that whole effort. It's been a long time associated with Yamaha. No matter what I've done, been Yamaha backed. Over the years, riding so many different Yamaha bikes, I've really had experience right across the range. And till today, I've nearly had 50 years of experience of riding Yamaha machines. But the most special bike that I had was the year after that I got the factory OW51 Yamaha. That's a 500cc power valve, 4 gears, an amazing engine. We put that engine into a production 250 motocross frame, and that bike was a gem. I nearly won every race that I rode that year on that bike. The most competitive years of my racing finished in '86 when I hurt my right knee. I tore the ACL. From then on, with Yamaha's backing, I went around Australia teaching clubs and riders the safer way to ride a motorcycle, both in off-road and in motocross. In fact, we started that in '78 at the Hungry Creek motorcycle track at Peats Ridge in New South Wales, and then moved into doing the University of Motocross at Dargle. And that evolved into starting my own training with Yamaha's backing, of course, the Academy of Off-Road Riding, which got going in '88. It was really important for me to develop that safety message with motorcycling. And then it evolved into what I do today is the adventure riding. And it gives me great pleasure to help with some skills to the adventure riders to ride more safely on those farm roads, those trails, the outback roads. And, you know, it can be dangerous at times. So learning better skills on those bikes, it gives me a thrill to think that I've helped those riders to have a safer ride on the Ténéré machines. It was very exciting when Yamaha brought out the new Ténéré 700. You know, the bike was fantastic. Seeing it at the first ever launch at the Tenere Tragic, And then travelling around Australia and New Zealand with the launch of the Ténéré 700 was really thrilling for me, because it got me to see the public, to talk about the bike and to see the enthusiasm that was out there. My Yamaha life has been through a variety of things from dirt track to motocross, but probably one of the most exciting things is being involved in Mad Max Fury Road, the movie. The bike that Max actually rode in the movie was a Yamaha R1 with an extended swing arm. We did a few things to the bike, like lessen the braking ability, put knobby tyres on the bikes, but it's a very, very special bike. It's very close to my heart, that particular machine, and very, very fast in the dirt as well. I think riding to me is going to happen forever. I'm going to ride till I can't ride anymore. It's cycling or motorcycle riding. I just love it. I'll ride forever. I'm Stephen Gall. I'm united by Yamaha.